Did you see the Pazuzu thing in the last episode?
Oh, yeah. That's what I was talking about. Why did you do that? I didn't think it was funny.
Because I put it in there. I showed Courtney, and I was like, nobody's going to know. And then, it's because it's like, again, what's a blink and you miss it thing. And I know that you watch these. You watch them. So you're like, all right, it's up. And then I got the message. Why did you put that?
That was immediately after I saw it. That's when I was watching it.
Ah, yes, come in. Our featured presentation is about to start. You have entered into cult cinema with the dastardly evil Cheese Film and my partner in crime, Hecubus. This is the Grindhouse Podcast. We're coming to get you, Barbara.
Welcome back to the Grindhouse Podcast. I am your host, Chief Detective Cheese Film, and I'm joined with my deputy, Hecubus.
And, never mind.
And we're here to investigate a crime of immense proportions. Somebody has kidnapped Randy Official, and they're holding him hostage. No, wait a minute. They're holding Dan Marino hostage. And a dolphin. The dolphin for the Dolphins. Yes, that's right, boys and girls. We're talking about the one and only hit comedy movie of the 90s, Ace Ventura Pet Detective.
Laces out, Randy Official.
Laces out.
Laces out.
I went to Dragon Con last year, and we were just kind of walking around. We happened to stop, and we're looking at everybody's cosplays as they were walking around. And a guy was dressed up in the UPS guard with the crushed up box, and he had sunglasses on or something, and I was like, oh, look, it's Ace Ventura. And he was walking by, stopped, and handed me a ribbon. We have them out here. I'll show it to you, but it's what you do at the cons.
I've seen it before.
And I was like, I got it. You know, it's really cool. And it's cool that this movie has such a popularity still, and it wasn't forgotten.
Yeah.
I was
damn good.
With the
hilarious
rise, and now
you know what he should have done?
And
the who is the hair.
With the rise and now subsequent retirement of Jim Carrey, I think it's cool that we're going to go back and look at one of his biggest films of his career.
Yeah, this year, when we were talking about doing this one, I said, yeah, because it came out the same year as The Mask. And then you mentioned Dumb and Dumber. Dumb and Dumber was the same year, too. So 1994 was the year of the Carrey.
Knocked it right out. And I think The Mask was his first starring role.
It was the first one that came out.
And because that got as good as a...
it was huge.
Reaction as it did, it really pushed him. He could do whatever he wanted.
He could, and he did.
And he very much did. Of course, he started on everybody's favorite SNL ripoff show In Living Color.
Well, not mine. Mine was Kids in the Hall, but obviously that's where I got this name from. But yeah, it was great. I just where we lived, I didn't have cable, so I couldn't watch.
You couldn't watch it
in Living Color as much because the channel just didn't come in.
We had it. We had the box sets. Patrick had it or something. So that's how I was watching it. And so he's always kind of been a big part of our lives.
Yeah,
Jim Carrey has been. And a couple weeks ago, we did the Sonic movie, and that's supposedly the end of his career. He's going to retire now for good. Really? Unless Sonic 4 comes out with a good script, he'll come back for that. But so we're going to look at one of his magnum opuses. I think this might be, of all of them, my favorite Jim Carrey movie. Because I like him I guess I'm the only one who likes number 23, but I really like him in that.
No, I like the number 23 a lot.
Oh my God, it's so
good. I thought it was
great.
But
if you want like just... Jim Carrey doing Jim Carrey stuff. I think this is my favorite one. He plays...
Yeah, because he's way more subdued and not as Jim Carrey as Stanley Ipkiss isn't as Jim Carrey as Ace Ventura is.
And who isn't as Jim Carrey as Lloyd is, Lloyd Christmas.
Yeah, right.
It's really kind of cool how like the ice melts in the water, how these three movies go. Maybe we should have done a triple feature. I don't know. They're all good movies. But yeah, Ace Ventura, he's a pet detective, not very well respected.
Not at all.
By the police at all. Well, I don't know what he does with the police. Why he's always in...
Well, you know, like...
He gets leads.
Huh?
He gets leads. He's not a police officer, but the police officers are investigating.
But also, like in the Maltese Falcon and all those where there's a private detective, he's got a friend that's on the police force, and he's got one. It's played by Tone Loc. I forgot his name.
And he's... yeah, I mean, like, it almost feels like he reports to the chief, too.
Yeah, well, it's like kind of a joint venture. Like, he's not allowed to hold information away from the police.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of what he does. And they let him on the crime scenes and stuff. And he's always smarter than everybody there, which I think is hilarious. And that's on purpose, too.
And he does it believably. I believe he's like that.
Totally.
And I've been rewatching House, so maybe that's why it's so believable for me for the not aligned, not by the book guy happens to be the smartest person in the room.
Right.
So maybe that's why it's so easy for me to digest, but it's just good.
Yeah.
You believe it. And you're like, okay, yeah, I get that. Yeah, he knows, he picks up on the little details because he's got autism or something like that. But yeah, so we start off with just a one-off kind of to introduce the world, introduce the character, where he saves a dog.
Yeah.
And then he's brought in onto a case. Somebody has kidnapped Snowflake and Dan Marino.
Right.
Quarterback of they do it the dumbest way. Like they hike him the ball and he goes back and then they come up and they go to tackle him but they keep going.
Right.
It's dumb.
Like that would happen.
Yeah. I was like, all right, guys, you can stop now. So because Snowflake is gone, that lets Ventura on the case, and he's going to find out what happened. And that leads into some pretty wacky hijinks.
Yeah,
Wacky
like everything's like kind of a
shenanigans.
set piece for Jim Carrey to be goofy.
Yes.
And it works. It all works.
It does. And you've got some pretty big names in this movie, too.
Yeah.
You've got some hard hitters. You got Courteney Cox, who was just off of Friends, or was Friends still going on?
Well, it was definitely still going on, and it might have just started.
Okay. You have...
and she hates Jim Carrey.
Well...
And I guess he used to pick on her too much, and she just did not like it.
I guess, I mean, and then you got the mayor from Ghostbusters as your psych ward guy.
Oh, yeah, right. That guy. Udo Kier is that rich industrialist guy, Ron Camp,
Yeah. So you got a
and
pretty
then
big...
the football team, too, the Miami Dolphins.
They really are them. So you got a whole wide cast, a lot of people in this. And I don't know, you're kind of sucked into it, because when he's investigating the missing, because he's more caring about the dolphin than he does the player.
Way more. He's way more into animals.
Yeah, and he lives with a
You don't have any animals in there, do you? No. And then he comes and whistles, and they're all the animals come to him.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And it feeds him out of his mouth and stuff like that. It's just
another thing, he's eating those sunflower seeds and just spitting them out.
Yeah.
Courteney Cox is like,
You want an ashtray?
Ashtray?
No, I don't smoke. It's disgusting.
So we're on the case. We're finding out what happened to this missing dolphin. They drain the pool to look for clues, and he finds a diamond from a championship ring
in the drain.
Yeah. Now I work for a company that does make those, and they don't come out that easily. Which I was like,
It doesn't come out of the ring that easy.
Yeah, no, they're set in there. So he's investigating now who could have had access to a championship ring who's missing this on their ring. So he goes and investigates the players, find out whoever doesn't have that gem.
That's a cool montage.
Yeah, and he gets decked in the face.
Punched in the face and looks in the mirror.
Yeah, so it's just full of fun shenanigans, really. Randy, did you happen to watch this beforehand, or did you?
I did watch this.
Okay, so what did you think? Because I think this plays more into like a comedic neo-noir than it does.
I do too. Totally.
Yeah, and I thought you would. But Randy, who isn't really big into...
I thought this was just a comedy. Like
You did?
A detective comedy. I thought it was better as a kid, obviously.
Oh, you didn't
What do you
like
mean,
it as much?
obviously?
I don't think all the jokes didn't hit all the same.
I was like a year younger than you when I saw this the first time.
Yeah, but I wasn't my age when I saw it for the first time. So
It's kind of freaky to think about.
Yeah, it is weird.
But yeah, I think this movie... See, the reason why I think this movie works so well is because it does take kind of a serious drama story.
Right.
And just introduces...
Yeah, everybody
a
else
wacky
is
character.
making jokes and stuff.
that's why I think this
Just
works.
Jim Carrey. Yeah, me
Is
too.
because Jim Carrey's supposed to be the odd man out, but
And the people who are making jokes are making jokes at his expense.
Yeah.
Right.
That would be
Bad ones
normal.
That aren't even funny.
Yeah.
And like that when he steps on a cockroach and he does the whole
Yeah.
monologue about his life and
Yeah.
how he's disgusting and his wife hates him. It's great. Then you get the whole bunch of a good bunch of Jim Carrey jokes. But yeah, I think this is a great blend of two genres that don't really ever cross paths.
No, I think it'd be too hard to do. And like this is a perfect example of how to do it.
Yeah. Well, and with
He's
the
a pet
sequel, they
detective.
don't do this at all.
No, not at all.
It's more comedy than it is.
I like it too. I guess
I
it's
like
not
it.
that great. People don't like it, but I think it's pretty funny. A lot of it.
I think it's a fine sequel.
Yeah.
And I understand why they go in more of the Jim Carrey is Ace Ventura
Yeah.
as opposed to Jim Carrey in Ace Ventura.
Right. Yeah, totally.
And
Because this, like, when he's doing they go to the mental asylum, and he's dressed up. He's got that tutu on, and he's like, "I'm going to do it in reverse and all that." That's total Jim Carrey stuff.
Yeah.
and that's what the second movie is way more like, because he only does that in this part.
and he's investigating. He finds, I don't know what leads him to it, but he finds about Ihorn
Yeah.
in the asylum. That's why he's there. And he got out.
Yep. Made a couple changes.
And he got rehabilitated. Yeah. And he goes to see his parents. And his parents are making football cookies. And it's all about that. It's kind of unsettling almost, like they're waiting for him to come home. But
And they get left his
coming
room
home.
the exact same way.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
It is. That part of the movie had always freaked me out, man. Like it there's something about it that just feels like you're not safe and you're not supposed to be here and you should get out as fast as you can. I don't know, it's just weird.
What's
And
your
then-
favorite joke?
You can't
Yeah, I don't even know. There's so many.
yeah.
I really like the one where he gives the package away and he's like, "It sounds broken." He says, "Probably nice."
Probably something very nice. Yeah. I love that too. But you know, I like when he uses those stupid catchphrases, like the loser and the alrighty then.
Alrighty. I like the when he's in the apartment room and he's
Yeah, I think that's cool too.
Yeah, I love that. I like the shark in the tank.
Shark, yeah.
That's not he comes back like, yay.
Yeah, do not.
That
Yeah.
whole scene. He goes into the bathroom. He like turns the water on,
Yeah.
then leaves, and does this whole like secret agent climbing over everything to get to a spot where he could have just
Walked
walked
over it, yeah.
to. Goes there, thinks he finds him, Thinks he finds a dolphin. It's a great white shark.
Yeah.
That apparently rips his clothes to shreds. He comes back, I assume, doing all the same things he just did.
Right.
Goes and comes out and he's like, "Do not go in there." That's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
Or when he eats one of the hors d'oeuvres and doesn't like it, it's back on the plate.
Or when he's talking to the dude who's hosting, he's like, "Yeah, no, when me and her met at Yale or whatever college," he's like, "No, we were talking about how to sue a host for food poisoning."
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Oh, look, hors d'oeuvres, and it goes over there. Like, yeah,
It's funny.
I think it's good.
You know, yeah, we should just do like a triple feature because the legacy of Jim Carrey, I think, stands well when you have a pretty good retrospective of his career here.
Yeah.
So I don't know how well this movie would hold up with modern audiences. Because
Well, when I was looking up stuff on Wikipedia, like to get the director and that kind of stuff, it has a trans thing on it.
Yeah.
And then it talks about how at the end, when it's revealed that Einhorn is, what's his name?
Finkel is Einhorn.
Yeah. And then Jim Carrey gets sick. And then everybody else does too. Now, they say it's because of the reveal that it's a man. That's not why they're getting sick. Jim Carrey's getting sick because he made out with him.
Right.
They're all getting sick too. Because they all made out with him too.
Well, but I mean,
That's
that is
the
a little
joke, and that's what the thing is. It's not because, oh my God, I'm disgusted that this woman is really a man or whatever.
Well,
it's
I'm
because
disgusted this
I
woman's
was
a man.
hooking up with her too.
Right. I mean, it is kind of punching down, though.
Yeah, no, but they're getting it the wrong. It's a different kind of punching down. Like the point for them was more to warn people or whatever. You know what I mean with today's mentality. I'm telling you what their mentality was, and that's what it was. It wasn't everybody was throwing up because he's a trans or she's a trans. They were throwing up because they made out with him. In their mind, that's what the joke is. FYI, I know it is like it's still not a good joke. I'm just telling you why it's not. The real reason it's not the good joke, not what they say in Wikipedia.
Right.
They're wrong.
Yeah. But yeah. So moving on to Dumb and Dumber, which has what's his name? Jeff Daniels in it as his co-star. Which I think is probably the gem in the Carrey trilogy. You know, the one that it's like where you would know him from. Oh, he's the guy from Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, probably.
You know, so I don't know. It's just because Jeff Daniels is such a serious actor at the time. He didn't really do comedy. His oh my God, the person who manages him was like, "Don't take this. Don't do that. This is going to be a career ender for you." And he took kind of a leap of faith with this movie, which still, again, has a serious plot.
Yeah, it is a leap of faith, too, because the Farrelly
goofballs.
brothers weren't well known at that point. This is what made their name.
Yeah, and it really entered in a new wave of comedy as we know it.
Yeah, it did for a while, too.
Because all the Adam Sandler stuff kind of started to be like this. A lot of, I don't know. I don't watch a lot of David Spade movies. I assume Joe Dirt kind of takes.
I think Joe Dirt
from this.
David Spade stuff is more like Ace Ventura than Dumb and Dumber.
You think so?
Yeah.
But it's just everything. And the Farley brothers, like you just said, or the Farley brothers. They're not
Farrelly brothers.
They're not the Farley. It's not Chris Farley's family. Really blew up, and anything in the 2000s, late 90s, 2000s was them.
Yeah, they pretty much put something out every couple of years too.
They really monopolized it.
What's it called? Me, Myself, and Irene.
Yeah,
which also got heat because of people that with multiple personalities, but nobody ever.
It's a different.
Nobody ever complained about it. It was all people complaining on their behalf.
Yeah.
And what's another one that they got? I don't remember. I can't think off the top of my head. But they were making, maybe it was blind people in something. I don't know. We'll forget about it. But there was the same thing. That blind people weren't complaining about it. People were complaining on blind people's behalf. Yeah. It's just weird.
And now we see it. Now, I don't think comedy movies have ever been the same. Because they do
really
kind
of have to evolve too.
Caricature of what these movies were.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of heart in stuff like Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore, Dumb and Dumber. There's a lot of heart in those, and you just kind of feel like it's lacking now.
Yeah.
Like even with the remake of the sequel to Dumb and Dumber, I think it's just bad.
I didn't see it.
It's not good. It's kind of trying to do the same thing over again. It kind of gets a little weird with Lloyd kind of falling in love with maybe his own daughter. Maybe it's Harry's daughter. It's just not. It feels like how the mighty have fallen almost. Because you don't get a lot of good comedy movies today.
Not really. I don't think so. I can't think of the last good one that's new that I've seen.
You can't at all.
Me neither.
And it's almost, I almost kind of think comedy is almost like it's on the way out.
Well, you got to look for it more. It's more like it used to be, where comedy people knew where to go get comedy. And it just wasn't for trying to make it for the mainstream.
Well, and stand-up's got a huge rise now.
Yeah,
it's
huge.
Really kicked off. People are getting a lot of specials on things like Netflix and YouTube. And I think instead of doing comedy movies now, they're just doing their stand-up.
Yeah, lots of it, yeah.
Because if it's not a family movie... Because I wouldn't call Dumb and Dumber a family movie.
It's definitely not a family movie.
I would call it a comedy.
Yeah.
And then, you go to Netflix, you watch Leo, that's got Adam Sandler and Bill Burr in it as classroom pets. You're like, oh, okay, it's Adam Sandler and Bill Burr. This is going to be hilarious. They're animals. It's a heartwarming family movie. There's no comedy anymore.
Huh.
It's just kind of what it is. So, if it's not in the realm of, a family film, there's no comedy film anymore, I think. If you're going to make a comedy, you're making a family film.
Right, I gotcha.
There's nothing that really... people try, I guess, to make more lowbrow kind of red band comedy movies. You got the Sausage Party, that's trying to be a comedy movie.
Yeah, it's definitely not for kids.
You've got what was that other one that Seth Rogen did? Oh, I'm not gonna remember it. Anyway, they're just not as popular anymore. They have a little a little hill and they just die out. There's nothing really sticking around anymore.
Yeah, a lot of them have a shelf life too, and it's just not funny after a while.
It also got way oversaturated.
Yeah, way oversaturated.
To the point where it was, it is still, every movie is almost a comedy now. You either are a serious movie or you're not. An action comedy. Or
that makes sense. Like all those Marvel ones.
Yada.
They ended up putting
Fast and Furious is kind of...
That's kind of what I'm saying, it's... And a while there in the mid-2000s, they were pushing hard for comedy movies for them to be, star-led. So, it's Chris Rock or it's Kevin Hart or, David Spade or whoever. Yeah. And they're just bad movies.
Yeah.
They're just not good. What's his name? The other grown-ups guy. Maze guy. Who's that guy? What's his name? Rob something.
Rob Schneider.
The man of terrible comedy movies. He can't really hold his own. But then he does something like Benchwarmers and it's great.
Benchwarmers is awesome.
I don't know. So, it's weird. It's weird how you just don't get it.
Comedy's also hard and subjective. So, like, finding something that most people like is very hard, and most people find funny very hard.
Very hard. And then you don't know if jokes are going to land because you got people working with you that you probably know. So they think you're funny already. Yeah. And now you're going to go make somebody's mom laugh? Probably not.
So these things were, like, part of the generation of being like, well, one, what were you going to watch? This was all you were going to watch because it's all that was out. And then two, kind of nostalgia for a lot of those movies because a lot, like, they're okay movies, but rewatching them, you're not going to get that same, like,
thrill.
As the first time. So that also happens with comedy. So I just think comedy in general is hard.
And comedy then got real raunchy.
Yeah.
You know? Like, everything started to be in, like a sex comedy movie, and I think that really kind of killed it because like you can't tell jokes like that around people.
Sitcoms are dead at this point, so like
it's really just evolving.
Yeah.
I was listening to this interview with the guy who voices Billy. I forgot his name. Billy from Billy and Mandy.
Yeah.
Talking about how streaming services work now, and they want to know they want to know 3 seasons. And a lot of shows only get 3 seasons now because if you have to catch up on a show, you're less likely to watch it, which is ironic because I talk about how I'm rewatching House.
Yeah, right.
From when that come out.
Ago?
Yeah, 11.
More than that even.
I think. And I'm loving it. I never saw the Orville before. Just threw it on, watched the whole thing. I think they're underestimating that because a lot of people are like, oh, people's attention span, and maybe I'm just older. People's attention spans aren't gonna allow you to have long form entertainment anymore,
right?
Because this is another thing. Like, it really is present with the Disney Plus stuff, is that you don't have TV shows anymore.
Appointment watching. Yeah, you don't have that either.
You either get the full thing,
right, all
day
at once.
One. Or you get 8 episodes over 8 weeks, and then that's it.
That's it.
And sometimes that's really it.
Yeah.
I don't like the first season of a lot of shows. A lot of people don't. You got to give it some time for the show to really come to life. And these seasons shouldn't be 8 episodes long.
Yeah.
Like, I got on episode like 25 of the first season of House. Like, it's nuts. Like, I have the Fringe box set, the complete series. Season 1 is its own 5-disc thing, and those episodes, they're like 45 minutes long.
Yeah, same with House.
You've got to watch it, and you've got to give it time. You've got to let things really cultivate because
grow.
I love The Acolyte. I thought it had a pretty weak mid area, but like it got you a good, interesting hook, and it ended with a potential future.
Nope.
And they're talking about canceling it because people
they did
just don't
cancel
like
it. It's already canceled.
Well, everything's canceled.
But like Kramer in Seinfeld was not the same in season 1 as he was in I think 3 is when he decided to be the Kramer everybody knows.
Right. He was that whole. Jerry's whole apartment wasn't even a thing in the first season. It's crazy. It's just crazy how it feels like overnight, once like the streaming demand hit, all of it just fell off.
Right. It seems like, they made money doing that. Then it's the only way to do it.
And they're throwing...
And it's just stupid.
Millions of dollars into this.
Yeah,
Secret Invasion cost $225 million to make 8 episodes.
Right.
And nobody watched it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they're making money on those streaming services.
I don't either.
Because, like, it's maybe $8 a month for me, but you, me, and him all live in the same house.
Right.
And you don't have to buy a ticket to watch season of the Secret Invasion.
Right.
You just watch whenever you want. I don't get it. I don't understand where the money's coming from.
You know what? And most people don't because they're not letting people know how stuff is working either, which is being a big problem. And
they don't let the residuals kick in at all. It's really a terrible idea. But yeah, the whole way this goes, the whole how everything is now, I really think they need to take a step back, reevaluate, and maybe go back and watch Ace Ventura,
or take a chance on something,
and
on an idea or something. Take a chance, because they're not doing that.
No,
don't get a focus group. Get a guy. You like this guy. Let him do his thing. People will come to good stuff.
They will. I watched the Lion King Mufasa movie, which has I forgot the guy who directed it, but he I believe did Moonlight, and so they wanted him to do the Lion King, right? And I mean, I can't tell that he did that.
Right.
I watched the second Doctor Strange movie. I know how Sam Raimi directs, so I can see his stuff. And if you take out a specific car and the eyeball shot, that could have been anybody.
Yeah.
They really they're not. It's by committee now. Everything's by committee.
And what's that called? Scrapbook.
Yeah.
And then they put it in a focus group, and if 100 people don't like it,
they don't keep it going.
They start change direction, start doing. It's just a bad idea, and it's not working, and they need to wake up and realize that.
But what else do you do?
What else? What I just said you do. You take a chance.
No, but what I'm saying is nobody puts stuff on cable anymore. Nobody's.
Yeah, right.
Andor was the first show that they had on cable. Like, you can watch it on FX or one of those.
Yep.
And you can watch it on Disney Plus.
Right. Something else just went
to that stuff.
Only Murders in the Building is on ABC now too, because Disney owns Hulu.
Yeah.
ABC, Disney Plus, or whoever. It's all owned by the one person.
Right.
And that's another thing. That stuff's got to be broken up too, and that's a whole nother discussion.
Right. But it's shocking. It's shocking to see.
What I was going to say too is, like, you don't have to spend. One of those Star Wars shows cost tens of millions of dollars per episode.
Jeez.
And there's 8 episodes of them. You don't Godzilla -1.
$15 million.
$15 million. That's it for the same level special effects, and like a third of the people worked on it, maybe even less than that. And raking all kinds of money, was critically acclaimed. Everybody loves it. People paid lots of money to go see it.
It's
you're doing it wrong.
The Creator. Have you heard about that?
Yeah,
movie?
I know what you're talking about.
Also, very low, but I think it might have been like $8 million.
Yeah, I think you're right. It was damn cheap.
The guy who did Rogue One did that movie.
Yeah.
And it looks like Rogue One does.
Right.
Which had a budget of 5 times that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The more money is not working.
It's not, because you're just throwing it.
People that care about something, let them do it, and then pay them afterward, whatever. You don't shortchange people either.
Right.
But stop trying to outsmart everything. And I'm sorry, but you're not smarter than everybody else. Executives.
Right.
You got it wrong. And they're just trying to keep their jobs too.
Yeah.
Here's a better way to keep your job, make the company some money.
In She-Hulk, Kevin Feige has a cameo as the AI robot thing, right? Which, that would be really funny.
But there's another thing.
2012, but now it really feels like that. But now it really feels like these shows are just run out by a computer.
Yeah, it does, and a lot of them.
It's all
a lot
algorithm.
of AI is being into that. But how about you don't insult your audience? And that whole She-Hulk, the whole point of the show, the showrunner lady said, was to shit on guys who like the superhero stuff. That was their whole goal. Well, you got it. You win. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to watch your shit. Stop it.
It's crazy.
It's stupid. It's self-destructive and stupid. And they're still making money, so they don't care. And their ego is more important than what they're doing. Mm-hmm. It's just sad.
It is. It's
horrible. Just get some people, put them under contract, have them work, you pay them every week, and they got to do anything you tell them. I'm just kidding. That's not better, but the stuff they put out was more consistently better, it seems like. Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Randy? You're big into the streaming stuff, too.
Yeah, totally. I don't know. I do think... I mean, if you guys get on the anime train, anime's been getting a lot better. It's been going pretty good, but even that's getting a little stale. No, I think just in general, like, people are just overindulging in content. So, like, if it ain't good, like, you're gonna mention on it, and since there's so much of it, probably isn't that good. Like, in reality, back then when they weren't making as much stuff, the gems were gems because that was all you could have.
Yeah, right.
And the rest of it was garbage. So now these 20 movies are literally the best because they are literally the best thing ever made. The rest of it wasn't good. So now it's like, oh, well, now we're just throwing stuff out there, which works kinda, but it's not like
it's
the
not
best
working.
things that come
Everything's
out
dying.
is Shogun, which was really, really good. Squid Games 2, which I think was really good.
Did you watch Squid Games 2?
I
did.
too. I liked it.
Haven't started it yet.
It's really good.
You watched the sub or dub?
We started dub, but then we started sub, then I watched the dub.
Yeah, if I watch that stuff, I'm going to watch that. So I haven't seen either one yet.
Because one of the characters speaks like Korean English, so it's when they do that, it's even better. When all of a sudden it's Korean and then English, it's way better. But those two are really good. All the horror movies have been like killer this year.
They have been really killer. I just watched Heretic, and that was awesome. 3 people in that movie, essentially. And it was great. 2 of them they're portraying teenage girls. I don't know if they're teenagers, but they're young girls. And Hugh Grant, who's a great actor. And those 2 kids did an amazing job.
Have you seen Nosferatu?
Not yet.
Yeah. That's one I kind of want to talk to you about.
My friend called me and was like, "No, you should watch it." So like,
I'm gonna watch it. I don't care what anybody
all
says.
these other movies that are like, literally, there's zero room for comedy, are doing good. Probably because everyone's like, you're not that funny. Like, let funny people be funny, but like as soon as you
make
try
a movie
to be funny
with a funny guy,
bro, you're ruining it.
It's cringy.
Yeah,
and a lot of cringe should be comedy, but also there's too many. I'm on the left and you're on the right, and that's what we're gonna try to just rip each other apart, and it's just not funny. And that's why you get like Nikki Glaser on that New Year's Eve thing. She just tore apart basically American culture and CNN.
Yeah, she did.
And that's the kind of stuff. Be like that. You'd have to make a stand, and if you're a comedy, you should never be with the status quo.
Yeah,
you should be always poking something at it.
But Nosferatu, I want to touch on Nosferatu real quick because what are you laughing at?
Ace Ventura Pet Detective. Nosferatu. I thought it was funny.
I kind of let it go this way because
you're gonna talk 30 minutes about you're gonna talk for half the movie length about the movie.
Well, I would love to sit here and talk about Ace Ventura, but I started it out with how Jim Carrey shaped how movies are now, and I was trying to be more of a philosophical episode. And ironically, yeah, you're right. We started with Ace Ventura, and now I'm like, well, it's Nosferatu film. It's done by the same guy who did The Witch, which I hate.
Robert Eggers. You hate The Witch?
I hate it.
Why?
I thought that movie is god-awful because it's not scary. It's boring.
I think it is kind of scary, and I can go. It's dry.
And the reveal is not worth the 2-hour buildup.
I think it is.
I think Ben just hates 2 hours.
I think the reveal comes way.
He likes
early,
3 hours or an hour and a half.
And it's all just it just ramps up the tension. I like.
Man,
The
I
Witch.
thought there was no tension in it at all.
What's another one? The Lighthouse.
He did The Lighthouse. He did The Northman, and now he did Nosferatu.
The Northman. I got to see that.
And he, I guess when he does these movies, he loves historical research.
Right.
So he puts a lot of time, effort, and attention into it.
And rats.
You could. Oh my god.
Real ones.
I left Nosferatu, and we were talking about the rats, and we're like, I said I think they might have been real rats. And my friend was with us, and he's like, I mean, maybe the one or two up close, but like there was so many of them. They're definitely CGI. I was like, I don't know. And then a couple of days later, it came out that like Willem Dafoe loved working with 20,000 rats, 20, and I was like, what?
I read that something about that too. I guess it was the same thing, but yeah, I was like, maybe. I asked your mother. She went, hey, because it came out on Christmas.
Yeah.
You want to go see a vampire movie on Christmas? No. And I was only kidding. But now
then you heard about that.
She can't watch that movie.
And it's not even like. It's like a mouse that scurries. It's like not Temple of Doom, Last Crusade.
Yeah.
They're just everywhere. And they're all over him.
Nosferatu means something like plague bringer or something. And the rats brought the plague. And that's why there's so many rats in it. But they're real.
Well, yeah.
And that's a
thing. I don't know how much about this movie you know, but when the rats get to Germany, they do spread the Black Plague.
Oh, it makes sense.
Have you seen how he looks?
A little tiny bit.
They should not have called this movie Nosferatu.
What should they call it?
Dracula. Just let it, because ironically, Nosferatu was a movie. It's a Dracula movie about the novel Dracula that they tried to get out without having to pay any copyright.
Right.
This is a remake of a movie.
Of that movie.
Of that. And it doesn't remake that movie at all.
Right. That's what I heard. That's what my takeaway is, because I'm trying not to find out too much about it. And not that it's 100 years old, and I'm not going to.
I think it's officially 100 more.
I just want to come into it fresh. That's all.
Yeah, so I don't want to spoil anything for you. You would love it. I loved it.
I'm sure I will.
I don't know, Tom. It's about 2 hours long. And
Lenny dies. That's what the spoiler is. Lenny dies.
Lenny.
Well, Johnny Depp's daughter is.
Right.
And she's phenomenal.
That's good.
The great cast in it too. It's just very good. But I think why this movie of his really, really stuck with me is because it's atmospheric.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Witches. I think the camera work is more dynamic than the Witches was. I think
it's more.
I can see where he has come. Mm-hmm. So he started with the Witch, and now he's here, and I can see his evolution. And I think that it's phenomenal.
Nice.
But I don't think they should have called it Nosferatu. I think they just should have called it Dracula. Or like Dracula, the Nosferatu. There wasn't a SpongeBob cameo, unfortunately.
Oh.
But it's funny that online they're like, the next movie in the SpongeBob universe, Nosferatu. Because
I would never think everybody was so...
I'm bored with it.
No, with the SpongeBob thing.
Oh,
it's one joke, one time. He's doing the light switch.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it was way early, too, before any young people are going to have watched SpongeBob.
Right.
That's such a good joke because it came from out of nowhere.
He comes back again.
Like,
he does?
One more time. He's the overnight manager.
Yeah. So everybody was like, well, where's the SpongeBob cameo? And I thought it would have been fun to have Tom Kenny just in there selling pineapple. I think that would have been
good. Or sponges.
Yeah, because there's a whole they take you around the town, and there's street salesmen and stuff like that. And that's where I would have put him, just as like right?
Because
it's nothing, and there's weird,
and it's not going to take people that don't know what Tom Kenny looks like.
They're not going to know.
It means nothing.
It means absolutely nothing to them. But I will say, because when we booked the tickets for this movie, we were the only ones, because on the Regal app, you pick your seats, and there was nobody else there. I was like, okay, this is going to be a scary movie in an empty theater. Perfect. But the theater ended up packing up, and there was this group of girls sitting kind of farther down from us. And I don't think they went into this movie expecting this movie to be what it is. Because Bill Skarsgård plays the Dracula or Nosferatu, and they're like, oh, sexy monster, it's Bill Skarsgård, it's gonna be hot, and at the end of the movie they go, what was that? And the whole auditorium was cracking up because you kind of heard him giggling uncomfortably the entire time, and then they just loudly say that, and it cracked me up. But yeah, it was a huge phenomenon. I'm very, very impressed and grateful that it's as popular as it is.
Yeah,
because you
I can't
wouldn't
wait to see
expect it to be.
No. Especially come out on Christmas Day.
Yeah, competing with The Lion King and Sonic when you've got your kids around.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
You know? Like,
everybody's on Christmas vacation.
yeah, everybody's happy and jolly, looking for laughter and cheer, and boom, gothic Dracula, and it's so gothic. I loved it.
Yeah,
I ate it up.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
I ate it up. I think you'd love it. But yeah, to kind of tie this episode around back to how just how the industry has changed and where we are now. Like, it's good to see that at least A24 gives a leg to people,
right?
Because I don't know if this is an A24 film, but
I don't remember.
Eggers has worked with them, or they've distributed his movies before, so they believe
The Lighthouse. I'm pretty sure definitely is.
I believe The Witch, The Lighthouse.
Yeah, A24.
And I think The Northmen are all A24.
Could very well be.
Because I know The Witch is because we have it in an A24 box set.
Yeah.
I believe The Lighthouse is because
that's the kind of movies they make.
Yeah. Oh, have you seen The Lighthouse, Randy?
I know he's gay.
He's gay.
He has affinity for.
It's a interview with Willem Dafoe talking about, I believe, his character in that.
So he's like, he's gay. He has a.
Yeah, and people have clipped it. They're like me talking about my friend. It's just silly.
And it's in black and white. I know that.
Yeah, it is, and it's in like television
aspect ratio. And it's got Batman.
Robert
in it.
Patrick. Yeah. No, Patterson.
But yeah, so it's good to see. And James Gunn new Superman stuff. I hope that really.
Yeah,
did you watch Creature Commandos?
That's good. No, I don't really care.
Did you?
Yeah.
Is it good?
It was all right.
I almost watched it last night.
You'd probably like it. It's real short.
Yeah.
You'd like it.
Don't care about the Suicide Squad stuff. So to have Suicide Squad, but it's monsters this time, it's a hard sell for me.
It's like you love monster movies.
Yeah, but like I don't know if I want to see The Bride and Frankenstein team up with G.I. Robot and
it's good.
Bright.
It's good.
Or Blight to fight whoever they're fighting.
I'm gonna check it out, Randy Official.
Good.
And I don't like the animation style. See, that's something that Japan really, really needs to start having more of an effect on Western cultures. Is this whole new terrible, terrible animation?
3D, yeah,
it's bad. All the DC movies, after like a certain point, once when they started really adapting the New 52 comic line, they all got bad. And I just going back and rewatched them. They're just not good to look at. And which is crazy because it's the Justice League. But anyway, I've got hopes for the future. I really do think that we might start getting into a new era of originality.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Like where we are
and it's
experiencing the dawn of it. Yeah. But that's all the time we have this week. I have been Cheese Film.
Dan Hecubus.
And Akira, Radio Official.
You know, it's funny you keep saying that we did that movie last week.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. Cheese Film out.